First, John Stone. Hope all is well and that you're having a great day. So this is actually kind of a test. We've got a new setup in the office here, and we've got some new equipment that we're using in order to shoot this stuff for you. So I want to make sure that we look okay, and I want to provide you some excellent content here today. So in our team meeting today, on Friday mornings, we kind of go over the results that the clients are getting from the different systems and stuff like that. And then I'll field like questions from clients, and I'll either like interact with the client directly or talk to the account manager on how to go back and talk to the client. And we've discovered that there's actually a lot of people that are focusing on the wrong things when it comes to their online marketing. So I wanted to shoot you this quick video to make sure that you're actually focusing on the right things. And the first thing is a conversation about what you're actually focusing on. And I see pretty much everybody in the industry starts at leads, and I'm guilty of doing this in the past as well, because you can generate a very low cost lead using Facebook advertising. And I mean, even if you're, engaging in, a little bit of bait and switch or whatever on Google advertising, you can get your Google leads pretty low as well. But at the end of the day, in my personal opinion, and I would love to know what you think, I think it's much better to get a very high quality lead that you pay more for, that has a much higher likelihood of closing, and then actually tracking the numbers on what your return on investment is. So when you're advertising online, I believe that you should put advertising into a system, okay? That's either Facebook ads or Google ads. You drive them to a lead conversion mechanism, and then that mechanism spits out as high a quality lead as you can produce, and then you track how many of those turn into deals. And that is the ultimate metric as to how you know whether or not your marketing is being successful. And I've got a really good example here of one of these people. So we reverse engineered one of these clients' funnels because they came back to us and said, hey, I don't think that this funnel is working so well. Now here's the numbers that were coming through this funnel. So they had closed, so we were about 2 months in traffic that had been generated on this campaign, and they had 3 approvals on deals that were going to fund. So I asked them, what's the likelihood of those deals funding? And they were like 100%. These are clients, they are going to close. So they got those 3 approvals from 15 applications that they had taken through the system. Now, in order to generate those 15 applications, they had spent just under $4,000 in advertising. It was like $3,900 and something that they had put into advertising. And those 3 deals, if they're on the lower end of the spectrum, let's say they're going to make about $2,000 in commissions, those 3 deals are worth about $6,000 in a return on investment. So they invested $4,000, they're getting back 6, and those 15 apps that they've taken, there's still leads converting to applications, and those applications are still turning into more closed loans. So they're not done getting the return on investment from the campaign, but they weren't looking at any of these numbers. They had no idea what these numbers actually were. That what they were focused on was the cost per click and the cost per lead that was coming through the system. So when we were able to actually break it down to, hey, what's your return on investment going to be? It totally changed the perspective on the campaign. So lesson number 1 here is really don't get wrapped up in the metrics of your campaign. Back it out to what's the profitability of the campaign going to be, and then work your numbers from there. It's super important. And basically there's 5 things that you need to focus on when you're running an online marketing campaign, okay? So the first, right, is your cost per click. And that's more of an account manager metric to make sure that your campaigns are actually getting good click-through rates, you're targeting the right audience, people are responding to the advertisements, your ad account is healthy. Your cost per click gives you an overall health of your campaign. And without you having to learn how to get into the nitty-gritty of Facebook ads and metrics, you should know that your cost per click, right, should be under $1, right? And it should be, more importantly than that, it should be steady, right? You don't want to see if your cost per click is going up over time, something needs to be adjusted within the campaign. So that's just like a general health number, right? So you've got your cost per click, right? And then you actually have your cost per lead, okay? Tracking your lead cost allows you to keep an eye on the overall health of your campaign, whether you're getting the right audience in, and how much you're spending to acquire a new lead in the business. That's very important, because from that point you can then determine essentially down the road what the profitability of your campaign is going to be, because if you know how much it costs to acquire a lead, how many leads it takes to generate an application. That's the third metric that you need to keep track of. How many of your leads are turning into applications? Then you need to track how many of those applications are actually turning into deals. And then the fifth thing that you need to keep an eye on is your return on investment. For every X number of dollars that you put into a campaign, how much are you returning, okay? So cost per click, cost per lead, lead to application, okay? Application to closing, and return on your investment. Those are the 5 things that you've really got to keep track of inside your online advertising to make sure that it's working. And make sure that you're not running those numbers in the first 30 days and making that your hard and fast decision, because we're in the mortgage business, right? Very few people out there are in a position where they have to fast fund a loan and get it in the next 30 days. You should know your conversion metrics and look at the health of your database as something that's going to continue to pay you over time. It's normal to see a 60 to 90 day conversion window on the majority of the leads inside a campaign. Yes, absolutely. There's going to be like fruit that ripens on the vine and then converts later on down the line. But in the first 90 days of you generating leads at the beginning, you should have those metrics tracked out and should be able to see and forecast in your pipeline how many of those deals are going to close and what your return on investment is going to be. So I hope that helps you. Now, what I've got for you here is another campaign that we just ran through this morning, and I wanted to show you these statistics as well. Again, this is just to kind of give you something to measure your own campaigns by so that you've got a good idea. So this is from one of our clients, and I printed out their Ads Manager stats just so that I could give you the real numbers here, and then I have the actual metrics written down for us so that we can go through the actual numbers themselves, which is here. Okay, cool. So now, just give me 1 second here because I want to make sure that I get you the right information. Okay, so inside this campaign, we have spent a grand total of $769.26, okay? And this is one of those campaigns where we're driving direct to a mortgage application. So they're going through a bot sequence, right? And then going to the application on the back end. So this is for people that are actually at the point where they're saying, hey, I'm ready for you to pull my credit. I want to get on the phone with somebody. I want you to pull my credit and let's go ahead with this thing. So out of that, okay, there were a grand total of 32 people that came through the funnel that said, yes, I want to go through the process. So 32 leads from $769.26. And from that, we have already 2 funded loans from those people that have come through. These are all stats within the last 90 days. So 2 people have funded, okay? And there's another 3 people in the pipeline. So again, some people might look at that and go, wow, $769 in ads and you only generated 30 some odd leads. That's horrible. Well, it's all relative, because we're asking somebody to jump through all of these hoops inside the campaign to ultimately get to the point where they're basically filling out like a short form loan application before we ask them for their name, their phone number, and their email address. It's not about generating leads at $4 a piece. It's about saying, hey, wait a minute, out of 32 leads generated in a system, we've got 5 people and that are very likely to actually close these deals, 2 of them already having done so, right? So the trap is in the numbers. Make sure that you're focusing on the results. that actually matter. So I hope this serves you. I hope you found this content helpful. And for those of y'all that are viewing, I have discovered a problem with this process. So we're using the app from this like funky little stand thing. We've got a DJI Osmo here to help with the production quality. But if you're leaving comments on Facebook, I can't see them. And I also can't see who the viewers are, and I obviously want to see who you are and interact with you during these live broadcasts. So we'll get that fixed in the future, but I hope that you enjoyed today's content and that helps you in your online campaigns and that it helps you be successful. So my name is Chris Johnstone from Connection Incorporated, and we're signing off for today. Hope everybody has a phenomenal weekend, and we'll see you next week. All right, bye everybody. And we're still having technical issues here. There we go. Now we're gonna end the Facebook Live. All right, see you.